A woman is walking alone when she is suddenly approached by a man she does not know. He steps toward her with an overly familiar enthusiasm, making personal remarks about her appearance and blowing kisses in her direction. His behavior becomes immediately unsettling, and she tells him firmly to leave her alone. We'll dive into this story in today's video, but before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Right now, only 12% of viewers are subscribed, so join the community and help us grow. What should have been a normal moment instantly turns tense. She tries to create distance, but he keeps following her. His tone grows more insistent, and he continues trying to close the gap between them despite her clear attempts to disengage. You can sense her panic rising as she repeats her warnings. She tries to keep her voice steady, but the situation is clearly escalating. He refuses to respect her boundaries and continues to move toward her with invasive persistence. Her instinctive fear, driven by adrenaline, uncertainty, and the need to protect herself, is completely understandable. Watching this unfold is deeply unsettling. It shows how vulnerable someone can feel when confronted by a stranger who ignores every verbal and physical cue to back off. Moments like this leave a lasting emotional impact. The shock, the fear, the helplessness of trying to avoid a confrontation that should never have begun. It is entirely understandable that anyone witnessing this clip or imagining themselves in her position would find it disturbing. It's the kind of encounter that stays with you long after it's over. Have a watch.
Guck mal, ich bin hier mit meinen Kindern am Spazieren und ich werde einfach die ganze Zeit verfolgt von so einem Mann. Der ruft mich die ganze Zeit. So gruselig.
Entschuldigung, warten Sie mal kurz. Hallo. Ich wohne auch hier. Sind Sie hier neu in die Gegend?
Ja.
Sie wunderschön, Sie sehr, sehr schön.
Okay.
Sie wunderschön.
Dankeschön. Ich bin aber gerade am Spazieren mit meinen Kindern. Ich habe einen Mann. Wir würden hier auch gerne weiter spazieren.
Ich habe Sie gesehen von hinten.
Habe ich gemerkt.
Moment. Ich habe Sie gesehen von hinten. Sie boom hinten.
Okay. Habe ich gesehen. Was will ich denn?
Ich habe gesehen von hinten. Sie haben boom von hinten.
Okay, aber ich habe auch einen Mann.
Sie ist sehr schön.
Dankeschön.
Sie haben Mann? Sie haben Mann?
Ja, ich habe einen Mann.
Egal, Mann muss nicht wissen, ein Date haben.
Nein, danke.
Bleiben Sie stehen kurz.
Ich bin mit meinen Kindern.
Ich nur mit Ihnen rede, kurz wollen ein Date mit
Nein,
Ihnen,
ich
bitte.
möchte kein Date, danke schön. Ich würde mich auch freuen, wenn Sie mich jetzt in Ruhe lassen.
Aber Sie magnifik, Sie sehr schöne Augen, schöne Nase und hinten bumm, ich habe gesehen, ich muss reden mit dieser Frau.
Können Sie bitte gehen?
Bitte.
Können Sie bitte einfach gehen und mich in Ruhe lassen? Dankeschön.
Aber ein Kuss bitte.
As the clip ends, it becomes painfully clear just how real the danger was for this woman. She was in very, very real danger. You can see him pausing, looking around, scanning for witnesses, and checking who might be nearby before stepping toward her again. His body language shifts repeatedly, the way he positions himself, adjusts his stance, and keeps watching his surroundings. All of it gives the impression that he was poised to act, or at least to attempt something harmful. It's genuinely shocking to watch. My God, this is frightening. Anyone paying attention to his movements can see this wasn't harmless or accidental. The circling, the attempts to get closer, the constant checking of the area, surely you all see that. He is literally scanning, positioning himself, and preparing to do something, and her instincts in that moment were absolutely justified. In other news, Rachel Reeves will not face an investigation from the Prime Minister's independent ethics advisor over alleged breaches of the ministerial code ahead of the budget, as we understand. The Chancellor, who raised taxes by an eye-watering £26 billion, was reported to Sir Magnus Lorry by Reform UK leader Nigel Farage on November 30th. Mr. Farage claimed the Chancellor pushed a sustained and deliberate narrative after it was reported the UK was facing a black hole of between £22 billion and £40 billion. He cited Ms. Reeves's remarks in the House of Commons in early November and pointed out that the Chancellor had not disclosed the Office for Budget Responsibility's positive headroom forecast to MPs or the public. In his 968-word letter, Mr. Farage wrote, First, it has been widely reported that, weeks before the budget, the Office for Budget Responsibility informed the Chancellor that, on unchanged policy, she was on course to meet her fiscal rules with headroom of at least £4 billion and never less than £1.5 billion. Secondly, notwithstanding that information, the Chancellor conducted a sustained public and media campaign portraying the public finances as being in a state of collapse in order to prepare political ground for approximately £30 billion of tax increases, which, on the OBR's own numbers, were discretionary policy choices rather than unavoidable fiscal necessity. In a direct plea to Sir Magnus, Mr. Farage added, "I therefore ask you to advise the Prime Minister without delay that this matter meets the threshold for formal investigation under the Code, and that such an investigation should begin immediately. Given the gravity of the allegations and the public interest, I further request confirmation within 7 days whether you intend to initiate an investigation under paragraph 2.6b of the Code or advise the Prime Minister to refer the matter to you. However, the decision not to push ahead with the probe comes after the UK's financial regulator also opted against launching an inquiry. The Financial Conduct Authority was under pressure to investigate potential market abuse after Shadow Chancellor Sir Mel Stride set out his pitch for a probe. We have requested details of this work and that the outcome, including of the inquiry into any leak of market-sensitive or inside information relating to the budget, is shared with us so we can consider as appropriate," the FCA said. However, Sir Mel had warned that the Treasury's leaks and spin had led to market speculation being rife and the gilt markets volatile. He added, "It seems increasingly clear that the Chancellor has been giving an inaccurate picture of the economic and fiscal context, and this appears to be driven by political considerations. Ms. Reeves had been accused of misleading the public, MPs, and her own cabinet colleagues after it emerged the UK's public finances were in a surplus ahead of November 26th. The fiasco, which was confounded by the resignation of Richard Hughes from the Office of Budget Responsibility, has resulted in the Chancellor backing a separate inquiry into pre-budget leaks from the Treasury. James Murray, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, told the Commons, "The government puts the utmost weight on budget security, including prevention of leaks of information." A leak inquiry is now underway with the full support of the Chancellor and the whole Treasury team. The chair of the Treasury Select Committee, Dame Meg Hillier, MP, added, "Leak inquiries have a habit of not finding someone responsible. But if somebody is found responsible, will they follow the lead set by Richard Hughes and resign?" Despite being accused of misleading MPs and the public, Ms. Reeves and Sir Keir have denied breaking Labour's 2024 manifesto commitment not to hike taxes on working people. The Prime Minister said, "There was a point at which we did think we would have to breach the manifesto in order to achieve what we wanted to achieve. Later on, it became possible to do it without the manifesto breach, and that's why we came to the decisions that we did." The Chancellor added, "Anyone who thinks there was no repair job to be done on the public finances, I just don't accept that. We needed to build more resilience, more headroom into our economy, that's what I did, along with investment in the NHS and cutting bills for families." However, Ms. Reeves has been facing calls to resign, including from Tory leader Kemi Badenoch. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.